Good evening, everybody. I hope you're doing well this evening on this beautiful Sunday night. Thanks so much for joining me. So this morning, Pastor John was preaching again with our Lighted Up series, and this one was called Live in the Light. There was something that he talked about today that really was, I don't know, it was almost an earth-shattering thing for me. I'd never heard it put that way, so I really just kind of want to reiterate that. So Pastor John was reading from John 8, verses 10 through 12, and the backstory to it is, so there's this woman, basically, who had committed adultery, and all of these people were just like, putting her out there and saying, she needed to be stoned for the crime that she had committed. And they were basically trying to trick Jesus, okay? And so, but the verses say, where do I want to start? Okay, so in 10, when Jesus stood up again, there was no one there except the woman. So Jesus asked her, "Where are they? Has no one condemned you?" She answered, "No one, Lord." And Jesus said to her, "Neither am I condemning you. Go and sin no more. Never again believe a lie about yourself." And then Pastor John said something to the effect of, "Believing a lie about yourself is the root of sin." And I was like, whoa, that's pretty powerful. And so then he started talking about in Genesis, and the backstory in Genesis is, in case you don't know, God created Adam and Eve, and the first two people, and so basically the enemy, Satan, didn't like them, obviously, okay, and he lied to them about themselves, and because they believed that lie, that caused the woman to sin and do what she wasn't supposed to do. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to look back and see what the Bible says about that. And there was this tree that God had said, "Don't eat the fruit of this tree." And so when the devil came to her, he's asked her, "Has God indeed said that you shall not eat of every tree of the garden?" So he's trying to get her to question what God really said, first of all. And she answers him, and then it says the serpent, or the enemy, said to the woman, "You will not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." And, to me, I thought, well, there's not really an outright lie in there, but it's kind of a lie of, I can't think of the word, but, like, he's basically telling her, you're not like God right now. And he's just trying to deceive her with that. That's a lie. Like, the Bible even says that we've all been made in the image of God. Okay, and so by saying that, God knows that if you eat of this fruit, that you're gonna be like God. Well, there's already a lie in there, because we've been made in the image of God, and because she started thinking that way, she started becoming sin conscious. Then she ended up sinning because that's what she was thinking about. And, that totally changed some of my perceptions and made me realize that sometimes I am completely sin conscious, and maybe that's why I do things that I probably shouldn't do. But that's why, so many times on here, I really feel led to just read to you verses out of the Bible about who God says you are. Because it's so important for us to know exactly who God says that we are. Because once we believe something, that's kind of where our actions go. And when we think negative thoughts or things that are contrary to God, then we're going to do things that are contrary to God. But when we think righteousness-minded and grace-minded, that's more of what we're conscious of, and that's where our actions are going to go. And man, that was just really powerful for me this morning. I don't know if you weren't there or if you weren't able to join us online. You really should go back and listen to that, because that was some really good stuff. And something else that Pastor John also said is that God's belief about us stays consistent. Even when we are sin conscious and our actions start to follow that, God still believes those things about us. He still believes that, all of the good things that he says, that we are healed, that we are righteous, that we are more than overcomers, etc., etc., etc. He still believes that about us. And all we need to do is just find out what he says about us, get that lined out, get everything straightened out so we're not double-minded anymore. And our actions are going to naturally or organically, however you want to put it, follow that righteousness and grace consciousness. I know it really wasn't a whole lot more than what Pastor John said, but it really changed my perception, and I wanted to share that with you and kind of reiterate those things. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope this has helped you. Bye-bye.